Hello dear students, welcome to YourPedia. This is Chandrasekhar, Faculty of Electrical and Electronic Engineering at YourPedia. This video is related to IOCL interviews for electrical candidates. We all know that IOCL recruits through GATE, and after getting good GATE score, they will call you for an interview. I collected many of previously last year asked questions in IOCL interview. Okay, and we are going to see what are the questions, which topics are important, from which topics most of the questions appeared in the interview of IOCL. Let's enter into the discussion. Yeah, see, the very first question asked is the significance of V and inverted V curves. This is from synchronous machines. The V curves and inverted V curves are from synchronous machines. The second question is relays used in transformer protection. He asked what are the relays that are used in transformer protection. Yeah, explain about Buchholz relay. That is also Buchholz relay is related to transformer. Yes, that is going to recognize the slowly developing faults, Buchholz relay. So it will give the level of oil. If the level of oil in the transformer tank is less, then it is going to raise an alarm, right? Next, use of silica gel in transformer. What is the purpose of silica gel in transformer is the next question. The next question is differential protection. Yeah, he asked the candidate to explain about differential protection. Next, different transformer connections. So there are different star delta, delta star, okay, delta delta. Like there are many types of transformers. How those connections will be, he asked, right? Next, explain CT connections for protection. Yeah. So we are going to use the CT, current transformer, in protection. How we are going to connect different connections of CT, he's asking. Next, hysteresis and eddy current losses and how to minimize. So what is hysteresis loss and what is eddy current loss? How to minimize those hysteresis and eddy current losses. The next question is transformer oil and the purpose of transformer oil. The next question is what is the full form of OLTC and what is it? Explain about OLTC. The next question is what is synchronous condenser. Synchronous condenser. The next question is how to increase torque slip characteristics in induction motor. The next question is what is the difference between alternator and induction generator. The next question is purpose of classifying transmission lines. See, if you observe, most of the questions are from power systems and electrical machines. In electrical machines also many questions you see from transformer itself. Transformer is having that importance for an interview. Transformer, alternator and induction machine. These three are very, very important. DC is also important, but the significance of DC these days is reducing, but that is also important. Okay. Next, in power system mainly protection is important. Please note this point. In power system mainly protection. Most of the questions from power system are from protection in IOCL interview, right? See, next, the purpose of classifying transmission lines, different transmission voltage levels, different types of conductors used in transmission and distribution, advantages and disadvantages of AC and DC transmission, The next question is purpose of transposition of transmission lines. Next question is what is the corona and what is the corona loss, how the loss is taking place due to corona. The next question is positive, negative and zero sequence impedance of a transmission line. Yeah, a transmission line is going to have positive, negative and zero sequence impedance. How we got and what is the relationship between those. Next question is installed capacity and average load in India. So the one who is going to IOCL interview must know what is installed capacity, what is reserve capacity. So these basic definitions must know, and what is power generation capacity in India as of today. And we have different types of power generations like thermal, hydel, nuclear. So broadly can be classified as conventional and non-conventional. How much percentage is conventional, how much percentage is non-conventional. This way, this classification is important, right? Next, thermal power plant basics. Next, what is economizer, what is air preheater. This is generation part. What is economizer, what is air preheater, and what are the various equipments in switch yard. Yeah, in switching yard, what are the various equipments that are used. Next, what is switch gear. So protection devices, protection equipments is generation, transmission and protection is very important, right? Next, various equipment in the substation. Next, explain busbar, surge arrestor, CT, PT, CVT, circuit breaker, lightning arrestor, switches, isolator, insulator, busbar. So he asked about to explain about these things. Next, different CT for protection and metering. See, current transformer we will be using for two purposes. One is for metering, means for measuring the high currents. That way, that is going to step down the current CT. And another application of CT is for protection, right? There is a difference between the CT which is used for protection and measurement. Next, explain about circuit breaker operation. Next question is what are auto reclose type of circuit breakers? There are two types of circuit breakers, manual reclose and auto reclose. Okay. Next, what is arc quenching? You know, whenever a circuit breaker opens, arc will form. Then what is arc quenching and how arc will be quenched, right? Next, why we try to extinguish the arc at current 0 point? Generally, see, arc will be extinguished at current 0 point. What is the reason for that? Next, how much time does it usually take for a circuit breaker to break the circuit? So it is the question is about operation type of circuit breaker operating type. Next, what is the purpose? What is the suppression time and break time of circuit breaker? The next question is how can we improve the transient stability of a system? Next question is what is PLCC? Next one is insulation. Some question about insulation resistance. So how much will be the generally insulation resistance, right? Next one is earthing resistance. See, there is a procedure called earthing. There is a difference between grounding and earthing. So how much will be the earthing resistance? Next question is explains skin effect, Faraday effect, proximity effect. These are the three important effects in power system, right? Next, parallel operation of generators. One of the very important topic, parallel operation of generators. See, there is one grid. To the grid, all generators and all loads are connected with a single point. So for that operation to be possible, there are some certain conditions to be satisfied. What are those conditions? Yes. Next question is how will you measure frequency? So he is asking how to measure the frequency. The next question is why harmonics and how to eliminate harmonics. In our power system, harmonics will produce. Even in electrical machines also harmonic will produce. Why we are going to get harmonics and how to eliminate the harmonics. Next, what is PLC? What is SCADA? These two are application orientation questions. Definitely the one who is going for IOCL interview must learn about PLCs and SCADA. PLC and SCADA, right? Next, what is smart grid and how it differs from conventional grid? This is also one of the very important question. Concept of smart grid is very important when compared to the concept of smart grid is very important. Okay, what is the difference between conventional grid and smart grid? Next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of HVDC? Yeah, why we are going for HVDC? What are the disadvantages of HVAC? Like this, the questions can be framed. Next, what are the devices connected at the terminals of HVDC or converting station? See, we generate AC that is converted to DC and we transmit it. Again, we convert the DC to AC and we distribute it. So, at the converting stations, what are the various equipments that are there and how those connections are made? So, this is also one of the very important question. The next question is methods of neutral grounding. Yeah, so the neutral of a machine, three-phase machine, we are going to connect to the ground. Why we are doing the grounding and which grounding we are going to prefer. There are several types of groundings like solid grounding or effective grounding and resistance grounding, reactance grounding, Peterson coil grounding. So which grounding when it is used? Next question is how can we solve the unbalanced system problem in power system network? See, in power system there is a problem of unbalanced. So how to solve an unbalanced system condition? Yes. How can we differentiate between symmetrical and asymmetrical faults? There are two types of faults, symmetrical and asymmetrical. How we are going to differentiate? Next, define steady state stability limit and transient stability limit. So we have two stability limits, steady state and transient state. So what is that? He is asking us to define. Why after steady state limit the synchronism will lose? Sometimes after steady state limit synchronism will lose. First of all, what is synchronism? How it will be lost, right? Give some methods to improve steady state limit. How can we reduce the reactance of the transmission line? Yeah, there are some methods to decrease the reactance of the transmission line. Some methods like parallel lines and series capacitor. Yeah, we will be discussing in our snaps. We will be asking you these questions in our snaps, and if you are not answering in right way, then we will be correcting you. We will be explaining you the actual concept. The next question is what is the purpose of series reactance? Yeah, series reactance. Next question is what is the effect of series capacitor on fault current? Yeah, if you put series capacitor, how it is going to affect the fault current? Why can't we use a idle load plant as a base plant? See, the next question is why thermal plant cannot be used as peak load plant? See, why thermal power plant cannot be used as a peak load plant? Yeah. Next question is give some examples of base load and peak load plants. How we categorize the power plant into base load and peak load plants. See, we have two types of plants, base load plant and peak load plant. Base load means that is continuously supplying. Peak load means whenever there is a peak demand of power, then only it comes into picture. So on what characteristics basis we are going to decide which one is base load plant, which one is peak load plant, right? Next, what is the role of governor? Yeah, there is a speed governing mechanism in our generation. What is the role of that? Next one is, what is AVR, automatic voltage regulator? What is Ferranti effect? What are the advantages of ACSR conductors? What are the advantages of HVDC or HVAC? What is neutral grounding? What are the methods of neutral grounding? What grounding is used for synchronous generator? Why resistance grounding is preferred for synchronous generator? Why reactance grounding is used for synchronous motor? What is the power factor of an overexcited synchronous generator? What is the power factor of an underexcited synchronous motor? Right? What is synchronous condenser? What is synchronous coil? What is synchronous phase modifier? What is the need of classification of transmission lines? What is the need of classifying transmission lines? What is wavelength of transmission line operating at 50 Hz? Yes, wavelength is asking, not physical length. What are the performance indices of a transmission line? See how you are going to measure performance of a transmission line. Why receiving end voltage is mentioned in the given data of transmission line. So always the given data is going to contain receiving end voltage but not sending end voltage. Why receiving end voltage is mentioned of a transmission line. Distribution transformer winding sense and phasor groups. Yeah, distribution transformer, three-phase distribution transformer if we take, it is going to have winding sense and phasor groups. Will you please explain about that? Next, testing of transformer. What are the various tests done on transformer and what is the purpose of conducting each test? That is one question. Now, why we use dy on distribution, advantages of star on distribution side? See, he is saying why we use dy. Dy connection means delta to star connection. Delta to star connection, and advantages of star on distribution side. So he's saying on the distribution side you are taking star connection. Why? What is the purpose? We are using, see, distribution transformer is delta by star. Why we are using, why we use delta by star, and why we use star on the distribution side, right? Dielectric strength of oil before and after filtration, which we use in transformer. So he's asking, we are using some oil in the transformer tank. They may ask what is the purpose of the oil, which oil is used, and what is the dielectric strength of that oil before we use and after using, right? Next, all motors, DC and AC motors applications, various applications of DC and AC motors. Starting methods of different motors. Yeah, some motors require starting methods, right? Suppose if you say three-phase induction, three-phase synchronous motor is not self-starting motor. There are some methods, right? Yeah. Next, speed control of induction and DC motors. What is VFD? Variable frequency drive. What is VVFD? Variable voltage, variable frequency drive. Yes. So these are the questions which were asked last year. Yes, last year YourPedia mentored hundreds of students who were going to, who went to, I can say IOCL interviews, and most of them got selected for IOCL. So join your hands with YourPedia to accelerate your preparation. So these are the questions what were asked previously for electrical engineering in IOCL interview. So you can download this document from our website. So this document will be uploading on our website. You can download this particular document from our website. Thank you.